Hello student, in previous lecture we have seen how to find a composite function for two variables and also how to find a total derivative by using chain rule. Now in today's lecture we are going to see a chain rule number 2. For chain rule number 2 on multivariable. Suppose what the statement is, w is equal to f of ut, if w is equal to f of ut is a differentiable function of u and v, is differentiable function of u and v, and if u is equal to phi of xy and v is equal to psi of xy are differentiable function of x and y, then composite function w, which is equal to f of u is what? Phi of xy, psi of xy, which is equal to capital F xy, is differentiable function of x and y, and dabba w by dabba x is equal to dabba w by dabba u by dabba x plus dabba w by dabba v by dabba x and dabba w by dabba y equal to dabba w by dabba u by dabba y plus dabba w by dabba v and dabba v by dabba y. So in this theorem we are going to prove these two results, that is a partial derivative of w with respect to x and partial derivative with respect to y by using a chain rule number 2. So what is given here? W is a function of x and y, and again this x and y are again a function of u and v. W is a function of u and v, and u and v are a function of x and y. So what is here? Dabba w by dabba x is equal to dabba w by dabba x is equal to dabba w by dabba u and dabba u by dabba x and dabba w by dabba v and dabba v by dabba w by dabba u by dabba y. Again here dabba w by dabba v into dabba v by dabba y and dabba v by dabba x. So what is partial derivative of w with respect to x? Dabba w by dabba u by dabba x, dabba w by dabba v by dabba x. Partial derivative of w with respect to y is what? Dabba w by dabba u by dabba y, dabba w by dabba v by dabba y. So what is given? And we have given w, u and v are a differentiable function. What is given? W is a differentiable function of u and v, u is a differentiable function of x and y, and v is a differentiable function of x and y. So what is given? W, u and v are differentiable function. So from that, therefore its increment function delta u can be written as delta u by delta x into delta x plus delta u by delta y into delta y plus epsilon 1 delta x plus epsilon 2 delta y. Similarly, increment function delta v can be written as delta v by delta x plus delta v by delta y delta y plus epsilon 1 not epsilon 1, so it is epsilon 3 delta x plus epsilon 4 delta y. Similarly, since w is also function differentiable function of u and v, we can write the increment function delta w as delta w is equal to delta w by delta u delta u plus delta w by delta v delta v plus epsilon 5 delta u plus epsilon 6 delta v. From this last expression we can write a delta w as delta w by delta u. From these two terms we can take delta u outside, and from the remaining two terms we can take delta v outside, plus epsilon 5 into delta u plus from the remaining term delta w by delta v plus epsilon 6 into delta v. Now since what is given as u is a differentiable function of x and y, what this implies as delta x delta y tends to 0, your epsilon 1 epsilon 2 tends to 0. Similarly, v is also differentiable function of x and y, what this implies as delta x delta y tends to 0, as delta x delta y tends to 0 0, your epsilon 1 epsilon 2 epsilon 3 epsilon 4 tends to 0. And here w is a differentiable function of u and v, what this implies as delta u delta v tends to 0, your epsilon 5 and epsilon 6 tends to 0. But since first of all we are going to put here value of delta u. What is the value of delta u? We are going to put this value here. So we get delta w is equal to delta w by delta u plus epsilon 5 multiplied by delta u by delta x delta x plus delta u by delta y delta y plus epsilon 1 delta x plus epsilon 2 delta y. Plus similarly put the value of delta v here. What is the delta v? This is the value of delta v. If you put delta v, we will get delta w by delta v plus epsilon 6 multiplied by delta v by delta x plus delta v by delta y delta y plus epsilon 1 delta x, not epsilon 1, it is epsilon 3 delta x plus epsilon 4 delta y. So if you simplify this expression, that is to multiply this delta w by delta u to hold this bracket, similarly to multiply this delta w by delta v to hold this bracket, you will get delta w is equal to delta w is equal to delta w by delta u delta u by delta x plus delta w by delta v delta v by delta x. Okay, that is delta w by delta u by delta x. This is a term containing delta x. This is a term containing delta x, and also this is also term containing delta x. So delta w by delta v by delta x into delta x. So we are writing a term containing delta x in one bracket plus delta w by delta u by delta y plus delta w by delta v dabba v by delta dabba y and into delta y. That is terms containing delta y. This is term containing delta y and this is another term containing delta y. Again there are some terms containing a combination of epsilon 1, epsilon and delta x and delta y. For that term we are writing here alpha 1 delta x plus alpha 2 delta y. But what is your alpha 1 alpha 2? Where alpha 1 and alpha 2 are terms containing epsilon 1, some combination containing epsilon 1 and epsilon 2 are the sum of each term containing the factors, sum of each term containing the factors of epsilon 1, epsilon 2, epsilon 3, epsilon 4, epsilon 5 and epsilon 6. So what is alpha 1 and alpha 2? Alpha 1 and alpha 2 are sum of the terms each containing factors of alpha factors of epsilon 1, epsilon 2, epsilon 3, epsilon 4, epsilon 5 and epsilon 6. And we know that as delta x tends to 0 and delta y tends to 0, then delta u tends to 0 and delta v tends to 0. Since u is a differentiable function of w is a differentiable function of u and v, and u and v are a differentiable function of x and y. So as delta x delta y tends to 0, delta u delta v also tends to 0. And also as delta x delta y tends to 0 implies this epsilon 1, epsilon 2, epsilon 3, epsilon 4 tends to 0, and as delta u delta v tends to 0 implies this epsilon 5 and epsilon 6 tends to 0. So in this expression, in this term, if you put delta y is equal to 0 and divide by delta x, then in this expression if you put delta y is equal to 0 and divide by delta x, then you will get delta w by delta w by delta x is equal to, if you divide by delta x, and since delta y is 0, so you will get delta w by delta u into delta u by delta x plus delta w by delta v and delta v by delta x plus alpha 1. Okay, but as if you take the delta x tends to 0, what happen here? Alpha 1 tends to 0 and this limit will be delta w by delta x is equal to delta w by delta u by delta x plus delta w by delta v by delta x. And as delta x tends to 0 implies already delta y is 0. So delta x tends to 0 implies alpha 1 is what? 0, because alpha 1 is the sum of factors containing these terms. So alpha 1 tends to 0. Similarly, for this term, if you divide by if you put delta x is equal to 0, and divide by delta y, then you will get delta w by delta w by delta y equal to delta w by delta u. Since this term is 0, delta x is 0, and for the remaining term we are going to divide by delta y, delta u by delta y plus delta w by delta x, delta v by delta y plus alpha 2. Now take limit delta y tends to 0. As delta y tends to 0, this alpha 2 tends to what? 0, and you will get delta w by delta y is equal to delta w by delta u by delta y plus delta w by delta v by delta y. So this is what? And formula for delta w by delta y and delta w by delta x. So hope you understand how to evaluate the total derivative if by using chain rule number 2. In this case, w is a function of u and v, and u is a function of x and y, and v is also a function of x and y. So now for an example, consider an example. Consider an example. Let if z is equal to e raised to u sin v and u is equal to xy square and v is equal to x square y, find dabba z by dabba x and dabba z by dabba y. So in this example, first you have to decide whether this example can be solved by using chain rule number 1 or chain rule number 2. For that, you have to draw this diagram. What is given? Z is a function of u and v, and u and v are a function of x and y. So here we are going to apply a chain rule number 2. Chain rule number 2. In chain rule number 1, what is the chain rule number 1? If z is a function of x and y, and x and y are a function of t, then we find dabba z dz by dt by using dabba z by dabba x and dx by dt plus dabba z by dabba y dy by dt. But since here z is a function of u and v, and again u is a function of x and y, and v is a function of x and y, so we are going to apply chain rule number 2. So what is the chain rule number 2 says? Dabba z by dabba x is equal to dabba z by dabba u by dabba x plus dabba z by dabba v by dabba x. So dabba z by dabba x is equal to dabba z by dabba u. So take a partial derivative of this term with respect to u. So it is equal to e raised to u sin v, and again dabba u by dabba x. So what is the derivative of this term? It is y square plus dabba z by dabba v, partial derivative. So it is equal to e raised to u cos v, and again derivative of this term with respect to x, it is twice xy. So this is what a partial derivative of z with respect to x, total derivative of z with respect to x by using chain rule. You can simplify also it. You can take this e raised to u outside. You can take e raised to u outside. Also y you can take outside. So if you take y outside, e raised to u outside, what is there inside the bracket? Y sin v plus here we take x y outside, so it is equal to twice x cos v. This is what a total derivative of z with respect to x. Similarly, you can find dabba z by dabba y by using the formula dabba z by dabba u by dabba x dabba y plus dabba z by dabba v by dabba y. So you can find dabba z by dabba y, total derivative of z with respect to y is differentiate z with respect to what? U. So it is equal to e raised to u sin v, and differentiate u with respect to y. So it is equal to twice xy plus dabba z by dabba v, e raised to u cos v, and dabba v by dabba y, it is equal to what? X square. So if you simplify this, how to simplify? There is this common term e raised to u and x. So if you take outside, then what is left? 2y sin v plus, if you take x